Chapter 4, Humility in the Teaching of Jesus. Learn of me, for I am meek and lowly of heart. Matthew 11:29. Whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant, even as the Son of Man came to serve. Matthew 20:20. We have seen the humility in the life of Christ as he laid open his heart to us. Let us listen to his teaching. There we shall hear how he speaks of it and how far he expects men, and especially his disciples, to be humble as he was. Let us carefully study the passages, which I can scarce do more than quote, to receive the full impression of how often and how earnestly he taught it. It may help us to realize what he asks of us. 1. Look at the commencement of his ministry. In the Beatitudes with which the Sermon on the Mount opens, he speaks, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." The very first words of his proclamation of the kingdom of heaven reveals the open gate through which alone we enter. The poor who have nothing in themselves, to them the kingdom comes. The meek who seek nothing in themselves, theirs the earth shall be. The blessings of heaven and earth are for the lowly. For the heavenly and the earthly life, humility is the secret of blessing. 2. Learn of me, for I am meek and lowly of heart, and ye shall find rest for your souls. Jesus offers himself as teacher. He tells us what the Spirit both is, which he shall find in him as teacher, and which we can learn and receive from him. Meekness and lowliness is the one thing he offers us. In it we shall find perfect rest of soul. Humility is to be our salvation. 3. The disciples had been disputing who would be the greatest in the kingdom, and had agreed to ask the Master. Luke 9:46, Matthew 28:3. He set a child in their midst and said, "Whosoever shall humble himself as this little child shall be exalted." Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? The question is indeed a far-reaching one. What will be the chief distinction in the heavenly kingdom? The answer none but Jesus would have given. The chief glory of heaven, the true heavenly mindedness, the chief of the graces is humility. He that is least among you, the same shall be great. 4. The sons of Zebedee had asked Jesus to sit on his right and left, the highest place in the kingdom. Jesus said it was not his to give, but the Father's, who would give it to those for whom it was prepared. They must not look or ask for it. Their thought must be of the cup and the baptism of humiliation. And then he added, "Whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant, even as the Son of Man came to serve." Humility, as it is the mark of Christ the heavenly, will be the one standard of glory in heaven. The lowliest is the nearest to God. The primacy in the church is promised to the humblest. 5. Speaking to the multitude and the disciples of the Pharisees and their love of the chief seats, Christ said once again, Matthew 23:11, "He that is greatest among you shall be your servant." Humiliation is the only ladder to honor in God's kingdom. 6. On another occasion in the house of a Pharisee, he spoke the parable of the guest who would be invited to come up higher, Luke 14:1-11, and added, "For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted." The demand is inexorable. There is no other way. Self-abasement alone will be exalted. 7. After the parable of the Pharisee and the publican, Christ spake again, Luke 18:14, "Everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted." in the temple and presence and worship of God. Everything is worthless that is not pervaded by deep, true humility towards God and men. 8. After washing the disciples' feet, Jesus said, John 13:14, If I then, the Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. The authority of command and example, every thought either of obedience or conformity, make humility the first and most essential element of discipleship. 9. At the Holy Supper table, the disciples still disputed who should be the greatest. Luke 22:26. Jesus said, He that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that doth serve. I am among you as he that serveth. The path in which Jesus walked and which He opened up for us, the power and spirit in which He wrought our salvation and to which He saves us, is ever the humility that makes me the servant of all. How little this is preached, how little it is practiced, how little the lack of it is felt or confessed. I do not say how few attain to it, some recognizable measure of likeness to Jesus in His humility, but how few ever think of making it a distinct object of continual desire or prayer. How little the world has seen it, how little has it been seen even in the inner circle of the church.